All right. Sunday, John Ritter Research Program for Genetic Testing. So this is really important. This is one of two different ways to get genetically tested, through research program, and then you can do one clinically. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons here real quick. If you or one of your loved ones have been diagnosed with thoracic aortic aneurysm or dissection, then, and we just hear thoracic aortic aneurysm only or aortic dissection, then the John Ritter Research Program would really like to hear from you, because you contributing a little bit of saliva, that's a lot of it, but it's still just saliva, will really help them continue their efforts in finding all the mutations and the genetic components that are causing aortic dissections. And the goal in that is, if we can find something in you, the patient, we might know what to look for in your family member to determine if they're also carrying a gene. Doesn't mean that they're going to have anything happen, and there's a 50-50 chance, but at least we know if they have the gene or not, and a doctor can look at them with a different set of eyes. You will only be notified the result if they find something. So if they don't find anything, you're not going to be notified. The other key with this research program is they will not submit the samples to be tested until they have at least 100 participants in a batch. A batch is 100. So if they have 98, you will be waiting before they run that till they get the last two. But once they run it, they keep all the information. It's confidential. They will let you know if they find anything. If they don't, you will receive no results. I'm not sure if you find a result for a variant of unknown significance called a VUS. I'm not sure if that comes up, if they actually send you notification of that. But participating in research helps the community as a whole. Now, clinical genetic testing is different. That's really more strictly for the individual. And that's going to test you for I believe there's 38 aortopathy panels right now. And they're going to test you for all of them, similar manner, just like the Ritter Research Program, but you will get those results, and you will probably get them sooner. You're going to get them regardless of what the outcome is. And they will tell you if anything turned up, anything, or even close possibility, something we should monitor, you're going to get the results. Now, if you have genetic testing done and you do not have life insurance and something is found, then that is found, right? You're going to have to disclose that. And it might really cause a problem with you obtaining life insurance in the United States. And it might potentially cause a problem with you obtaining long-term care insurance as well. This goes for your children. So everybody has a very personal choice to make. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong. I think the only 100% right is if you have children or siblings, or your parents are still alive and you have been diagnosed with something, treat all of your family members as if they have it, regardless if they get genetically tested right away or not. They should be monitored. They should have a baseline scan, whether it's an echo, TEE, CT, or MRI. They're all good, except the echo and the TEE will not show the descending or the abdominal. But CT or MRI, both good. One with radiation, one without, one that's fast, one that takes a long time. Those are the differences, but the scans, the results are equally fine. I know everybody says CT is the only one. It's the only one. It's not the only one. You can get an MRI and it'll be fine. But you want to treat your family members, siblings, your first degree relatives as though they have something until you prove they didn't. Because just because you might come back with we don't see anything on your genetics right now, doesn't mean that in 6 years it won't, because it seems to be about every 5 to 7 years, there's new genes that are being discovered. So that's why you want to talk to your doctor about having the testing done and done and done. And you just keep doing it if it's of interest to you. But in the least, make sure you have your family members, make sure they know the script to tell their doctors, right? You should be discussing your family medical history, hence think aorta, think family, and determining who needs to be monitored, with the hopes of diagnosing something before that rare aortic dissection happens. But John Ritter Foundation, the John Ritter Research Program, which the John Ritter Foundation donates money to, that's the governing organization that is a research study that is different than clinical. So I don't believe that information is used against you in terms of ratings for insurance or long-term care as a clinical facility would. And if you want to do clinical, you should talk to your cardiologist or surgeon, and they can help you figure out how to get involved with a program like Gene DX or Invitae, but we're not talking 23 Gene and Me or whatever it's called, 23 and Me. That's not the kind of clinical we're talking about. Okay. So just some food for thought and another option for you to consider.
Christina would
All
like
right.
to know if the John Ritter Research Program for Genetic Testing is free.
It is free. That's
Thank you.
another bonus. That is free. Having said that, a lot of people believe that the clinical testing is going to cost them hundreds of dollars, and that's not necessarily true. Especially if you've had a dissection, a lot of times that cost is offset for you. They have aid programs if it's not covered by your insurance. I know I've had mine done 2 times. I've not paid a penny, and I have Medicare and a secondary insurance. I haven't paid anything. That gives you some idea. And the second time around, I had my results in under a month. And with the research program with John Ritter, I never received any results, which told me that it was the same basically. They
Yeah.
didn't have anything. Although with the clinical, I did find out I had one gene that came back a variant of unknown significance. So it's just something we're watching to see if more people across the planet end up with that same gene that might become a named thing. That's how it works.
Right on.
Very interesting.